out of the box or out of the wall, whatever we want to call it, we have, ooh, look at that. Spidey senses right there. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I always get this one and Across the Spider-Verse mixed up. Don't know. I'm not the smartest person, but is Into the Spider-Verse worth your watch? Speak slowly. Chase Leaki here with the Blue Futon reviewing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Did I watch this movie before? Negative. I've had this for quite some time, and I guess when it came out, I was in Portugal. They didn't have a version or, just showing in Portugal, so I had to wait, and we are finally at the time to watch it with the new one coming out. So what's this about? Pretty simple premise. Miles Morales gets bit by a spider, and what do you know? Another Spider-Man in the Spider Universe. So, did I like this movie? Yeah, it was a fun little movie. I was expecting it to be an okay movie. I thought it was better than okay. It had great action set pieces. The pacing was really top notch. The voice acting was very good. However, I do think there is a little bit of issues with the animation and what the story was trying to do in general in the first 15-20 minutes. But continue on with the positives and the 4K quality. Fantastic. I mean, this 4K quality pops, shines, amazing. So if you can find this movie in 4K, which it can't be that hard, you have the right software and hardware, I highly recommend this one in the 4K because, like I said, it pops. I mean, a lot of poppiness. But also, I think that 4K quality also hinders some of the actual animation when I go into the negative. Voice acting, Mahershala Ali, Brian Tyree Henry, Hailee Steinfeld, Nicolas Cage. You have a bunch of people in this movie and a bunch of other people. I just forgot to say Catherine Hines. I forgot the main guy's name. Actually plays Miles Morales. Sorry, I don't have his name on the top of my noggin. But voice acting, fantastic job. Story was pretty good with the whole Peter Parker dying, which I could have sworn. I was like, isn't that Chris Pine voicing Spider-Man? Then he dies, and I'm like, wait a minute. I thought it was Jake Johnson. And then, of course, Jake Johnson comes in later on through that movie. I'm like, oh, now I understand what they're trying to do with this movie. So the story does a really good job with the multiverse, what Kingpin wants to do, all the bad guys, and what is occurring through each multiverse. I do think some multiverses are better than the others. I think the Japanese anime one was probably the weakest one. They could have fleshed a little bit more out, in my opinion. I think the Noir Spider-Man was awesome. Pig Spider-Man was really good. You have Gwen, then you have the Miles Morales, and you have Peter Parker, and then Peter B. Parker. And I do think it does a fantastic job. Editing, fantastic. I mean, how they decided to animate this movie, kind of like a mix of a comic book style of animation with a mix of realism. And I do think it really works, especially when they try to go in the panels and then the animation or the text coming down screen. I do feel like they did that more in the first half of the movie. And I guess in the second half, they kind of did a little bit here and there, but they decided to do a lot more in the first half. So there is some unevenness on that levels of what they decided to do with that animation style. All right, negatives. Here's some nitpicks. Number one, the song choices. I liked maybe one song in this show. I'm just not into rap, hip hop, R&B, so none of these songs did anything for me. And every time it was actually on, I actually wanted to turn the volume down because I was like, this whole Jaden Smith song, I think The Weeknd had a song. I just wasn't a fan of any of the songs whatsoever. Also, the Uncle Ernie, something about that storyline I wasn't a fan of. It doesn't really explain it whatsoever. And I truly think that this is the Uncle Ben version. It was kind of the weakest one out of the group because if the brother actually saw his brother in a suit like that, there's like red flags like, why are you in that suit? I know Spider-Man was just here, but how are you in that suit? Like, come on, dude. Why are you in that suit? So stuff like that, of course, is a kid's movie, so it doesn't go through that level. Also, of him spray painting the suit, I feel like it should have been a little bit more plausible. I know that sounds really awkward, but the whole point of that movie is he was literally spray painting black on the suit, and I'm thinking, it's not that easy. You think the Peter Parker Spider-Man with all those suits was that easy for him to just spray paint? And I guess he never spray painted before because spray paint doesn't look that good after you spray paint it. Also, the final thing is, I didn't know what they were trying to do. Is the Chris Pine Spider-Man, supposedly the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? And then is the Jake Johnson Spider-Man supposed to be the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man? And if they are they supposed to be in the same universes? I was really, really confused on that because they kind of make fun of Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3 doing the jazz, the jazz fingers. And I was like, what are we trying to do here? So I understand they're trying to poke fun at each other, but when it relates with this premise and this multiverse, I don't know if it clicks as well as they want it to. Yes, it's a fun gag, but as a story element, I don't know if it works that well. But overall, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is super fun, really cool, funny, animated great, edited great. Just had a good time with this movie. Like I said, nitpicks, I wasn't a fan of the song choices whatsoever. Some of the story elements are okay. Oh yeah, and then the animation. I think the 4K might hinder some of it because of the background animation. It felt like a lot of it was supposed to be 3D. I understand they're trying to do that dimensional. Like if you ever took your off 3D glasses, you see the two screen thing, and it really showed in this way more than I think it should have. And like they had these dots in the background, so I understand they're trying to do like the comic book aspect, but still, the panel of like seeing two of them was a little bit too much for me. But that shouldn't hinder you from watching the next movie, which I am a little nervous, honestly, from what I'm seeing with the propaganda of the stuff in this movie. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse will receive a 4 out of 5 with Futon, which goes at 90%. Let's see what the critics' news scores gave this one. So you have critics in 97% with 398 of them, audience score 93% with over 10,000. Here's critic consensus. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse matches bold storytelling with striking animation for a purely enjoyable adventure with heart, humor, and plenty of superhero action. I am curious on who the negative is. Let's figure this. It's got to be like 1 or 2 negative. Oh, there's actually 11. But yeah, want to give it a 1 out of 4. Ooh, that's pretty harsh. Anyway, 93, 97, or 80. Chase up with the Blue Futon, like, comment, subscribe. One other things, Futon Topi, Futon, take have a great day. I don't care watch this today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. I love every single one of you. And people are like, oh, this is the best Spider-Man movie ever. I'm like, you can't really compare an animated Spider-Man movie to a live action. It's just not the same realm whatsoever.